Hi, this is Andrew from My Dying Bride, and you're watching CMS TV.
Brace yourself for the wildest ride of your life. It's the craziest book Chris Aiken has ever written, and other things I should not say. Get ready for over 500 pages of pure, unfiltered debauchery. From his military years, Chris Aiken spills the shocking stories of sex, partying, violence, and the stuff that's so wild it's probably illegal. You've heard the tales on the Classic Metal Show, but never like this. Don't wait. Get your copy now at chrisaiken.net before the censors try to shut it down.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Chris Aiken Presents. I am Chris Aiken. That dude right there, that's Erik Ferentinos. Erik, how are you, sir?
Doing fantastic, Chris. Good to see you, buddy.
Absolutely. Good to see you, man. I only knew what you were doing from your Facebook this week. I saw some salsa tasting in the dressing room, and I saw that you guys were in Sturgis. Tell us about the weekend, man.
Yeah, well, it's always an adventure, as we know, with the Stephen Piercy Band, and so much so that's why I don't go anywhere when I'm home. You know what I mean? It's usually crazy enough that I'm like, okay, I'm good, and then I never leave the house. But this one, it was just from the get-go, it was nuts as far as how little time I had to make a connection in Minneapolis. It was like 30 minutes, and I go, oh, right when I saw that, I knew there's no way I'm going to make this connection.
Right.
But they did end up holding the plane for me. I fell, which is the first time I've fallen like as an adult, probably in the last like 30 years. But I was carrying my pedal board thing and I had a backpack on, and the plane was, our flight was delayed coming in, of course it would be. But what made it even more crazy was the tarmac, the thing that spreads out, that comes out to the plane, the little drawbridge, that thing would not open. It, like after this crazy ride in of me worrying if I'm going to make this connection, then it took another 10 minutes for this drawbridge to finally open, and I was in contact with the band. They're like, you gotta run, they're holding the plane. But and so when they finally opened the door, I go to run, and every 8 feet as the incline goes up, that tube thing that you walk out of to go into the airport, it's like another level, like this. And I think my foot just like caught on one of those. And I'm not a physics guy, but I know that it just seems like I just fell like forward really hard. I tried to, gain control, but I couldn't do it. And man, I fell hard. You could see like I got
look at you, all cut
pretty
up.
Banged up here, and can't see but here, but I got a bad bruise all down my arm here.
Jesus. Where
I totally like face planted, and it was all for nothing because I've never seen this in another airport. But it was like, remember that show Get Smart? Did you ever watch Get Smart? This was like a CIA kind of show, and in the beginning of the show, the agent, as he goes into his headquarters, has to go through all these doors. And it's just like door after door, and the last one smashes him in the nose, which is always funny. But this situation reminded me of Get Smart, because like I'm running and then there's another door, that like this airport attendant has to actually use her badge to open. And I kid you not, there was about 4 doors, and every time I was running for nothing because she was taking her time to like come walk up to the next one. So I was at her mercy anyway. But the first one is where I fell right when I jumped off the plane and didn't know any of that and just started running. Totally face planted. It was like, tumbled. Ended up making it onto this flight. But craziness. And yeah, some of this I document and put on my Facebook. I've been trying to add more stuff onto the subscriber page. Chris mentioned the Piercy salsa taste testing. That's just kind of on a whim things that I grab walking backstage, and that happened to be good timing. And of course, Jason has a lot of this stuff that you end up seeing in a couple weeks on his show, but it's kind of cool to see a different angle or perspective from it. My videos are pretty short on there, but I'm trying to add tons more to make it worth hanging out for every month. And I'm happy to announce that one of my shows that I do on there, Sea Glass Hunters, that I kind of do a deal like every other episode I put behind my subscriber page, but I do still put some of them on my main Facebook. Now, everyone's been seeing me on the show all season, finding sea glass and shells, and they're like, what do you do with it? And I didn't have anything to do with it, like art wise or something to do. And in talking to brother Pete Evick from the Bret Michaels band, he and I, when we had crossed paths a month or so back, I go, I should be giving you my materials, my sea glass, my shells, and you should do a candle line with it. And when two great minds come together, it comes together, man. And just like Chris Aiken and I's show here, our brother Pete Evick, his candle company, I believe it's Soul, SOL candles. They're doing an Eric Ferrantino's candle. Shining Soul. Now, brother Pete's coming on tonight. He's going to be here in probably about 30 minutes, and he's going to show off the first candle for this. Now, Chris, I always have people asking me for sea glass all the time. They're like, hey, we're going to be at your show. Can you bring us some sea glass? And, you know, the sea glass is very rare. You know, if you watch the show, I mean, I probably find like 5 or 6 pieces of sea glass in the season when I find it. Now, if you've been following along since the Pier Fire and the dredging of the harbor, it's off season for sea glass. I could find shells, but the sea glass is scarce. And so initially I was just sending Pete some sea glass as a prototype. Like, hey, let's see if you could do something. If you can, I'll send you more stuff. But the way he like put this together already, and he just surprised me today. He had like a PSA about it that we'll play later. Yeah. And he had a picture for me of the first prototype, which has the sea glass. It looks like almost like a bowl of cereal or something. I want to eat it, which I'm going to bring up to him later. Like, we might have to do like a Sea Glass Hunters type of Lucky Charms or something like cereal, because like we could go all kinds of places with this, but I'm hoping it's a dual promotion. I'm most excited about promoting the show so I could get more people to watch it and become subscribers. Ultimately it will be going on YouTube, but I want my subscribers and my Facebook people to get it exclusively first and feel kind of special, because they followed me along personally for the last few years. And then season by season, I'm going to add it onto YouTube. So they're about to be, the first season's about to be added onto YouTube, but my subscribers have had access to it now for probably about 3 months now.
Sure.
So cool. Pete's going to be a part of the show, man. I'm basically going to keep mailing him sea glass and seashells, and he's going to make these awesome candles. I also send him guitar picks. And he's doing something like that as well on his company, where he has Pete Evick candles where it has his guitar pick in it, and he does well with those. But this is awesome because they'll actually get these really unique scarce sea glass that you see from the show. The pieces that I find on the show are actually put into his candles, and it was really flattering that he did this. He's going to come on today and show it off and let us know what's going on in the world of Pete Evick. But it's exciting stuff, man. As far as the shows, we had a great time. Sturgis. We bounced along to Montana to play the state fair there. I drove Steven. I had a Tahoe, Chevy Tahoe that we rented. I like those. And it was a beautiful drive. It was like 5 hours. I did condense that to a 5-minute video on my subscriber page. If you want to hear the banter, Piercy and I over condensed down to 5 minutes, our 5-hour drive, that is on my subscriber page currently. But that about catches you up. I'm headed out again this weekend, but I'll be back for another Chris Aiken next Tuesday. What about you, my brother? You said you've been busy. What's been going on?
I've been busy, man, doing just worky work type stuff, but a lot of interviewee type stuff. I I interviewed Martin Popoff today. I interviewed, this is a cool one for me that may not be cool for everybody, but if you're a fan of Guns N' Roses, you might dig. I interviewed Mark Cantor, who, Cantor's Deli out there.
Yeah.
And while you may know Cantor's Deli, you probably don't know the Guns N' Roses connection, but he is Slash's childhood friend and is still his friend.
Okay.
So, and has been with the band the whole time and had documented the band the whole time. Like he put out a book maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago called Reckless Kind. And the book showcases a bunch of photos and stuff dating all the way back to when they were in 5th grade. I mean, he's a really long-term friend and friend of the band. And man, we talked for an hour today just about, how Guns N' Roses came together and Axl joining LA Guns and Axl quitting LA Guns and forming Rose and then quitting Rose and then forming Hollywood Rose. I mean, it was really fascinating to talk about all that stuff. And, so I was doing that and man, I was prepping for an interview with Joe Perry, prepping for an interview with Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith.
Whoa.
I talked to David Krebs, the famous manager of Aerosmith and AC/DC and Ted Nugent and the guy that created the Texas Jam. I mean, he's like a really, really high-end guy. So for me, it's just been a cool rock week, just catching up with cool people and doing that kind of stuff. And then obviously the stuff that I always do, my CMS stuff all night on Saturday and, just busy, just staying busy, man, doing my thing. So
I'm going to see the great Neely next week.
Yes, this Friday, right? Or Saturday?
It is going to be Friday.
Friday, yeah.
The Arcada.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing, and he and his lady Taylor are coming to the show.
That'll
so
be
that's
cool.
pretty cool. Catch up with Neely.
Yeah.
And if you live in that area, you can see him too and see the Stephen Piercy band. Kick some
and
butt.
you should, not could, should.
You will
see the
go.
Stephen band. That's right. You should go and watch Erik and buy some pics, you cheap fucks. Jesus.
Hey, I did great at the last show at that Montana Fair.
Right.
Wow. Like, I mean, not that you typically sell a ton of that kind of thing, but I sold about 8 pick packs there at that show, which was pretty awesome. So thank you to everybody who got those. Picked up a few new subscribers as well. Chris took an order for picks and a book the other day, which was pretty awesome.
That was surprising. I hadn't sold a signed Motley book in a while, so that was pretty surprising to get that one. So yeah, dude, I mean, it's obvious this show is picking up. I just see more and more traffic and more people talking about it, and I get more and more messages all the time. Oh, you should do this or you should do that. Now everybody wants to be the producer of the show. That's the phase we're at. Before it was like, oh, this is so cool. Now it's here's what you're doing wrong. Right. Now it's well, if I was doing it, this is what I would do. It's like, all right, well, good, dude.
Well, did any of them sound like good ideas or
no, none of them at all, or it's stuff that we just don't want to do at all.
Okay,
you guys should talk only about Erik's gigs at the shows.
I feel like we're already doing that too much. I'm like, even today, I had to just kind of push past it. Just assume they're all awesome.
We mention it, we go over it because people do go to the shows. But if you really want that, go waste some time with Jason Green,
right?
Because Jason profiles it.
That's right. He's like there. He's definitely better at getting that stuff. Like,
well, that's what his show's about,
right? For me, I'm not even used to doing such things. I'm just like focusing on just trying to get to wherever we're going. A lot of times I'm driving or something. I can't be, taking footage. But this time I did try to, which is funny because I'm watching the road. It looks like I'm not. Like if you look at the video, you're like, damn, dude, you really look away for a long time. But no, I just have I started to get good with that, like taking my camera while I'm driving, and I just know my hands going like this, but I'm not actually looking over at anything. But it was I'm going to try to get better at that because I know whether it's my subscriber page or people's what's that platform people use to actually do porn on, but
like OnlyFans or whatever.
OnlyFans, that's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, it's like this is like my OnlyFans but
Yeah.
it's only $1 and I don't get naked on there, but I do get the intimates. Things would be like backstage at the shows and stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm trying to make sure I get more of that. There's like sound checks, the airports, there's similar stuff, but it's from my perspective. Plus, people are getting Stoic Steve. There's a lot of people that ask about Stoic Steve. And if you like to eat food, he has a cooking show on my page. That's pretty good. Every month you have to get one of these. But I brought up OnlyFans because I was watching on Tubi a documentary on that.
Yeah, I watched that.
What did you think of that? What did you think of it?
I learned stuff. I will say that. I was honestly 1,000% unaware that there was more than porn on there.
Right.
I had no idea. I thought it was only chicks being naked, which is not a problem for me. But, I thought that was all it was. I was surprised when they started showing, this guy's got 2 million followers doing a cooking show, or they had a guy that was doing some kind of like an exercise thing. And
yoga.
I had no idea that was even going on. But
it happened to me naked yoga, but they have that on YouTube, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fascinating, I don't know. I still, even after watching that documentary, I still don't understand the appeal to it. Right. I just don't understand. And again, I'll even stay with the porn thing a little bit. I don't want to turn this into all porn discussion.
Sure.
But,
no.
I don't understand why people are paying $20, $30, $50, $100, $1,000 to see naked chicks.
Right.
There's so much free porn everywhere.
Right. Well, they're having to, with the market, apparently watching that documentary, the market is so saturated that they got to they have to work really hard to keep people subscribed. And I kind of feel their pain because I know, hey, I can't just like pop in and do a photo or two each month. I mean, if they want to even keep paying $1, they got to see something. So I have to have all these shows, and it helps when we're playing gigs because that's the most interesting time to see stuff. Yeah, on the road and at it. I don't know, man. It's tough, but following that show, there was full oversaturation soon, but in the beginning they were making tons of money.
Yeah, they were big bank, and some of them still do make big bank. I know that Mandy Rose, she's from the WWE, and she left WWE to do. I think she wasn't doing OnlyFans, but she's doing the same thing. I forget which one she was on, but she was making $1 million a month.
And also, the woman from The Sopranos, the pit played
Adriana.
Girlfriend. Yeah, she said she couldn't pay her mortgage, and she's forced to have to go on OnlyFans. One point they made is that it is anything like that where you can personally support somebody that you're interested in or that you like their work and know that it's going directly to them is better than knowing they're getting ripped off from some agency. Yeah. For the ones that do adult work, it is better for them to choose who they're doing it with and when and where, and they don't feel quite as exploited as some of these adult entertainment companies that are out there. So, there's that platform, but a lot of places have taken that model and allowed people to have it, whether it's Patreon or
locals.
Locals,
same thing. Yeah.
I haven't branched out to everywhere because I don't want to be a cavalcade of things. I try to just have one thing and see where it can go. Sure. I had stayed with Facebook because honestly, that's where I have the most followers. I have close to 7,000 followers there. Now, when I start a Sea Glass Hunters YouTube, that's going to start with 0 followers.
Right.
So I'm just kind of sticking with this, and then I can build the YouTube later. But Facebook does have it set up where when you do have over 5,000 followers, you can monetize yourself. And I was like, hey, I'm not seeing much from the records I did. I mean, that sort of thing's hard to track. And it's in this day and age, just like Chris and I showed on last week's show with AI now making music. Holy crap. Yeah. There's no shortage of music out there, and it's devalued everything. So this is a cool way, when you do have an artist that you like, that you can support them directly. I know every one of us probably has something like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going on. And then once a YouTube or something gets to a point, of a Wasting Time with Jason Green or something to show, or the you're getting, 50,000 subscribers, then I'll probably have everything free because then all the commercials are monetized and things like that.
Sure.
But you have to get to a certain level for that to even happen. You know, they want
Yeah.
to see a certain amount of people on your
see
deal.
a certain
You know
amount
it
of
is.
plays. Yeah, they want to see a certain amount of plays for sure.
Mhm.
And nobody wants to be that guy either, the shake the cup guy.
Yeah. I hate that.
Hey,
I really do.
hey. Like I watch a ton of stuff on YouTube, and more the YouTubers are really leaning into that whole focus on super chats only. And
Right.
and I'm okay with the super chat thing, but it's like, if the only time that people are going to be featured on the show is, oh, well, this guy gave $2 and he said, you guys suck. You know, it's just interrupting what you're doing. It sucks.
Sure.
It's not an entertaining watch.
Well, there's a couple ways to go. You have the cap locals, which is a chance for people to get everything right, everything related to the channel, whether it's a classic metal show, the Seth show, our show,
all
right?
the shows, all 10
all
shows,
the shows,
yeah.
all 10 shows, $5, you know, and my subscriber page that's unique to itself as far as the exclusive content on there is only $1, and it's kind of the light version of the locals. I mean, I do put our show on there when Chris gives it to me at night after the show, so they get the uncut. I'm trying to promote our Chris Aiken Presents a little, so I'm starting to chop up a few highlights and put it out there. A lot of people watched the AI one that I was surprised watched it. Some of my bandmates, different people, and they found the episode to be fascinating. A lot of people did.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that as well? Did anybody?
I've been hearing it because I talked about the AI stuff on all 3 shows, actually, for different reasons. And yeah, everybody is like, every musician friend I have is terrified. Mm-hmm. Every lazy watcher is like, this is cool. I could listen to these songs, you know.
Right. They weren't bad, but as I thought about it, it's not music that I personally like. But as Chris pointed out, the younger generation is used to hearing this fake ass music, and that's what their ears like. There are adult ears that have been around since before all this crap. Don't like it, most of it.
No, most of it just sounds like shit. But
right.
But I mean, for people that have been listening to, you know, Gungan Style Up, you know, they're used to garbage. And if they're used to garbage, then, you know, what's the difference between AI garbage and some other garbage? Not much.
Right.
There's really not. You know, I mean,
if it's a really played out kind of music, modern music, this thing can do it really easy. Yeah. But I don't know how well it could do something cool. But we saw some pretty impressive stuff, especially in the metal category.
Yeah. Well, and the gangster rap stuff too. I mean, if you really took the time to write some lyrical stuff, I think the gangster rap stuff could probably be okay too. But
well, I drew the conclusion that I truly believe, and the more I think about it, the more I think I'm right. They've been using this technology for probably the last decade to write most of the pop songs that we're hearing.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
With the exception of maybe some of the metal bands out there, maybe the Foo Fighters or something. I think that all the modern pop music is totally done with computers this whole time.
Sure.
And that would totally explain it.
Right
you
on.
know?
No, you're right, man. Definitely.
It's the limited edition 6-big set from Erik Ferrantino's. Get your autograph set today at ericpigs.cmspn.com. $25 includes first class shipping.
I drag the floor with the keys to your city. I scratch the surface down into your life. I see the signs that were